solver is a tool. It is called the tool of optimization. Why it is called a tool of optimization? Because in 𝐿𝐶𝐬𝐭, you always need to know your goal value. Yes, because you have to give it over there. What is your value? But what if the business scenario is such that a person says, what should be the change in these variables if I want to minimize my expenses? So is the value of minimum expense known to us? No. Does anybody know? No. But they want to optimize it to minimum value. Or people might say in the business, I want to maximize a value. So again, what can be maximum? Nobody knows that. So for such kind of things, we use linear programming, numerical methods. And if anybody has actually done it by hand, you've not done by hand. Done by hand. So if you're done by hand, it takes minimum 45 minutes to 1 hour to reach a solution. They're tedious work. So the LPP is converted into this tool of solver. And whatever work we do in 45 minutes is done in 5 seconds. But since the optimizations are involved in it, the problem is, if I say I want to maximize my profit, if I don't have any constraints around it, it is infinity. There is no bound to it. But every business problem will always have a constraint on top of it. So the most critical part of solver becomes understanding what are the constraints on this business problem. When you look at solver, you will see it is pretty much the same as 𝐿𝐶𝐬𝐭. It will ask for goal cell, it will ask to a value, it will ask changing cell. The only difference is it asks for constraints. And in to value, it will also have a button for max and min. Right? First of all, go to data tab and see if you guys have solver already installed or not. Because it's an add-in. It's not there in Excel by default. So follow the steps. You guys will go to file, not installed. So Yatindra, follow. Go to file, go to options. Everybody is over here. Go to add-in. And under add-ins, there is manage. Click on go. When you click on go, another window should pop up. Check mark in front of solver add-in and click OK. Like it says, tool for optimization and equation solving. Very interesting tool. Now, if I click on solver, you will see it's got a lot of similarity. Set objective, goal cell, to a value. Value of is also given, just like a 𝐿𝐶𝐬𝐭. Max and min is also given. That's why it's called optimization tool. Okay. Changing cells, not a cell. 𝐿𝐶𝐬𝐭's limitation is I can only change one cell at a time. The real world scenario, there may be multiple cells which are changing. So it allows you to have multiple cells changing. Then comes the part of constraints. And this is the most critical thing. Unlike other tools and functions that you've learned in Excel, there is always a way of self-check whether my answers are correct or not. Solver has no self-check unless you want to do it the long way. So spend a lot of energy in thinking about the constraints when a business problem is given to you. Okay, just as an example to get you started on how to think about it. Let's take a simple scenario. Let's say you are an owner of a toy store. Not an owner, employee, manager. Demote. You're a manager at a toy store, right? You have been given a monthly target of 3 lakhs, right? What could be the constraints in order to achieve this target? It's a generic business problem. You are a manager, you have to get a revenue of 3 lakhs every month. What is your inventory? If I give you 3 toys as an owner and I say, get me 3 lakhs revenue monthly, can you get it? No, inventory is a constraint, big constraint. To make a revenue of 3 lakhs, you need at least 6 lakhs inventory in your stores. So footfall is a constraint. You have to increase your footfall. Okay, let's say number of people in your team. If there are a lot of customers coming in, you don't have enough people, I can't do the sales. What else? Price of items that you have. If you're selling erasers and pencils, how much of you will sell? So these can be your constraints. Now, based on these constraints, it should do evaluation that can I achieve this or I cannot achieve this, right? Now, solver is used like 𝐏𝐨𝐬𝐭 you had. 𝐏𝐨𝐬𝐭 were very simple problems. Marketing and advertising. Yeah. So again, marketing and advertising would be to do what? To increase your footfall. So if I have to increase footfall, that would be same thing. Now, unlike 𝐏𝐨𝐬𝐭, where something, even if 𝐏𝐶 wasn't there, it was not that you could not do it. You still could have do it. You would have taken more time. 𝐏𝐶 is doing in seconds. Solver mainly, this tool mainly I have always utilized in manufacturing setup. That is where the lot of complications. This is one of the questions, and I will show you one of the real-term problem in manufacturing, where I applied the solver for them. So let's say this is a manufacturing unit, and it is manufacturing TV sets, stereos, and speakers. Profit that you make by creating one TV is $100, speaker is 30, stereo is 30. Just like 𝐏𝐶, in solver also, first step is dummy calculation. So I can say, okay, I can say I am creating one of each, or I am creating 100 of each, doesn't matter. So these numbers in the beginning could be anything. On your left, you have the inventory that is available. It's a manufacturing unit. So this is a raw material. How much raw material is there? I've got picture tubes 250, power supply 450, and so on and so forth. Okay. What are these numbers? These are the number of inventory that I need to create one TV. So I need one chassis, one picture tube, two speaker cone, one power supply, two electronics. Similarly, this is the quantity to create one stereo, quantity to create one, whatever it was, forgot. Speaker, stereo and speaker. Okay. Now, if I create one of each, how much inventory I would have utilized? 1 into this. If one TV requires 1, if I create 10, it will be 10 into 1. Right? So 1 into 1, 1 into 1, 1 into 1. This is my inventory used. How much inventory is left? Whatever is available minus whatever I've used is the left. So everywhere where there are formulas, it has to be cell referencing. Now, if I have to calculate what is the profit per product, if one product gave me $100, whatever number of products I'm selling or creating into profit per item will give me profit per product. And what is the total? Total is sum of this. Data and problem is clear to everyone? Now the question is, how many of each item should be produced in order to maximize the profit? Question is, how many of each will you produce in order to maximize your profit? One way could be that you do hit and trial. You say, okay, let me give 50 each. Right? But I still have inventory left. Means I have not optimized my inventory. So either you keep doing hit and trial or we use solver. So hit and trial is not easy. And there's no simpler way of doing this thing because a lot of connections are there inside your data. One is affecting the other things quite a bit. So this work will be done through solver. Anytime you have such problems where you are given a goal, either it may be a value, it may be max or min, and there are multiple variables affecting the value of that goal, that is a place where solver needs to be introduced. So when you look at, to give you an idea what a constraint looks like, when you work with constraints, you have to tell which cell has a constraint and what is a constraint on it. And when you talk about constraints, it is going to be something in terms of the value is greater than equal to, less than equal to, and int is integer. It means it has to be a whole number. Okay. So these are the constraints. So what will be the constraint on this? What about inventory? So remember cell reference and constraint. So what are the cell references? What's the constraint on it? It is goal seek, and only thing was different was constraint. Topic over. I want to maximize the profit. So total profit. 2, max min, max. Changing cells. Again, the same definition as your goal seek. What do you want to find? Quantity. In the reference, cell reference, if you pick an entire range, and in the constraint, if you pick an entire range, it maps 1 to 1. Whenever there are 2 ranges you give to Excel, Excel does item-wise relationship. So don't do 1 by 1. So what you need to do is you go to solver, set objective. Set objective is what you know, which is your total profit. This is my set objective to a value of max because I want to maximize it. Changing cell is what you want to find out. I want to find out the quantity. And once this is done, then it will ask for the constraints. Constraints are 2 over here. One is my inventory used has to be less than or equal to my inventory available. And my second, I could have added over there. And the second one is that the quantity that is there has to be integer value. If you select int, it automatically adds a constraint of integer. If you have, I'll tell you 1 second. And when you click OK, you get this output.